Hi, good morning everyone. We have a 2007 Rhino 660 that will not start. So, I've already taken out the air filter box, which was really easy. Let me show you here. The actual box just slides in and goes to the carb with this here Allen. It's just two of these push rivets right here that hold this in place. Now the filter, obviously you can look at the box. The filter did not look good at all. And wash that in just a minute. You can use warm soapy water. So the goal here is going to be to take out the carburetor, and then I'll show you. We'll flip it over, we'll clean out all the jets on the inside and get her running again. Also, I'll be changing the oil filter. I'm going to do that after I get it started again because I want it a little bit warm. Kind of get all the oil flowing around. Hey everyone, Richard here again. So, got the carburetor out, as you can see. I did do an exterior clean of it, sprayed it down. It's been sitting, this Rhino's been sitting for a while, so one thing I like to see is how well the slide operates. It operates pretty good. It was a little bit stuck when I started, so I'm guessing there's going to be quite a bit of junk on the inside of the carb. So, these screws right here, 4 of them on the bottom, you have to be very careful because they strip very easily. I put my screwdriver on there, you know, and I get ready to turn, and it's just really tight, it's going to strip. So I use what's called an impact screwdriver. That's what this thing is. I pick out the size that I need. Now what you do with this is you literally put it on here, hold it, and you hit the end with the hammer. When you hit the end with the hammer, it compresses this front piece, which then turns. I can't even do it by hand. Now, it's putting pressure on the screw at the same time as turning, and it doesn't strip them out. It's a really awesome tool. I've used this thing for many years. Has a lot of use on it. I'd say I've had this thing for almost 10 years. It even has a little designated right or left. You can do tightening and loosening. Okay everyone, I got the screws out, and just like I figured, it's been sitting. This is what fuel turns into when it's just been sitting in the bowl. Some evaporates and it turns into this gross varnish. It's pretty disgusting. But what it does is it does block all the passages inside the jets. And the jets are what meter the fuel that goes in depending on what throttle area you're at. So what I'm going to have to do now is take every single one of these jets out. You've got the main jet, and you got the pilot jet, the smaller one, and a mid slash possibly connected to the actual, no it's not, so kind of a mid-range jet as well. And you can see all this buildup. So I'm just going to soak this in carb cleaner and fill that bowl up with carb cleaner, and I'll put the jets in it and let it soak while I'm cleaning the rest of it out. And then another thing I'm going to have to do, and I'll show you, see this plug right here? This is the pilot adjustment. Now if you're doing any modifications to the motor, you always have to take this plug out, but I'm going to take it out so I can clean in there. This is a little brass plug. You drill right in the center there. I have a nice little hole ready for you. You stick a screw in there or something that has some threads on it and just yank it right out. It just pops right out. Okay, I've successfully removed the plug. Look at this big old screw I used. Hey, whatever gets the job done, right? Alright, so like I said, you have to use a drill. Power tool. Again, I love this rigid. I've had this thing, again, many years. Wife got it for me. Good stuff. Anyway, so now we have access down into here. You see there's a screw in there. Okay, now adjusting the screw will adjust the fuel at idle to just idle and just off of idle. Okay, so this circuit, when things sit, gets plugged when the fuel varnishes. So first of all, what you need to do, if you don't know this setting, right, so you watch the screwdriver, and I'm going to turn it, I'm going to tighten it, and you're going to feel when it bottoms out. Don't go too tight. There's a spring in there and a little washer and a little O-ring, but that's when it's closed, and you want to remember that number. So, you know, 1.5 turns, whatever it is, and put that back right where you left it. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. I'll do this. Ooh, it's in there good. There. Very strange. It already felt like it was bottomed out, so I'm guessing it's full of a bunch of junk. So general rule of thumb, I would say 1.5 turns. 1.5 to 2 turns is a pretty good number to work with. Alright, now she's loose. I recommend doing this over like a cloth. There it all is, see? Spring. So look, yes, come on, focus. Spring, washer, O-ring, okay? And I have seen where people have messed with these, and that O-ring's got twisted in there, and then doesn't sit right, and causes all kinds of problems. Alright, so now that I have all of the jets out, I'm going to go ahead and soak this thing in some carb cleaner, and then we're going to blow out all the jets. If I don't have a compressor with me, I am a mobile mechanic. Here's my truck. So if I don't have a compressor with me, I just use canned air. It actually works pretty well. You get a nice direct blast. And what you're looking for, I'll show you when I get to it, but the pilot adjustment I just took out goes right here. And if you look down on the carb, you'll see a little hole. See right there? That is idle. That is all idle. That's all it does. Now you see a big hole on the other side though, right? That big hole goes to your choke. Your choke is this whole top piece, and is essentially, it's not even a choke. It's called an enrichener. It enrichens. It doesn't actually choke. Now let's have a little conversation about that. A choke is an actual plate that goes on the back, on the air side, that literally chokes off the back of the carburetor. So when you say pull the choke, you're actually pulling an enrichener. Well, I'll show you when I put that back, when I put the car back in, but it's its own entirely separate miniature carburetor pretty much. And it just enriches and throws more fuel and air in during startup. Okay, I'm done with that rant. Let me work a little more and I'll get back to you. Hey everyone, okay, so I got the jets all cleaned back in. The carburetor's looking much better, much better. So, one thing I did not touch on before is the float, right? Come on, focus. Focus! Alright, here is the, kind of hard to see I guess. So there's a little rubber tip here, you just gotta look to see if it's worn, and not gonna focus very well. There we go. So, you have to look to see if it's worn, because they will wear into down, let's see it. Down inside there, and it's not going to focus. And that just sits right here on the float. Now, people that say, oh, my carburetor is overflowing, the float level's off, this is what they're generally talking about. See a little, I call it a tang, a little tang right here in the middle? You can actually bend that and it'll adjust where the float sits in the carburetor. And I'll show you when I put it back in what this does. Alright everyone, alright, so the float's back in. So when you're first, getting fuel in the bowl, it's going to be down like this, and it's going to go, and when you see it in the back there, it moves up and then it stops. As you're riding along, this thing is constantly moving just a little bit, letting fuel in or out depending on how much demand for fuel you have. Now adjusting that tang I was telling you about right there in the middle will adjust how much fuel is sitting in the bowl. Now in a second when I put the cover back on, I'll show you the easiest way to bench test your float height level. I'm not going to do it on this one because it shouldn't be an issue. The customer wasn't complaining of fuel coming out randomly, and it doesn't look like there's any evidence down around the carb that a bunch of fuel is leaking out. Okay, everyone, I got it back together. I just wanted to make one quick mention. Don't be that guy. Don't be a dick. And I can say that because I've dealt with a lot of dicks in my life, and my name is Richard, so I'm a dick too. But don't be a dick. Don't over tighten these screws. Don't need to use that German torque wrench, the Guten tight, and put it on so tight you think that this bolt's never going to come off, because you're going to screw the next guy that has to come in and try to take it off of. And they're not using an impact screwdriver. You're going to end up having to cut the bolts off and doing all kinds of just nonsense. So again, don't be that guy, or I'm sorry, guy or gal. Don't be that person that over tightens these, or anything for that matter. But for what I'm dealing with, and a lot of the quads and things that I work on, people monkey with them, they mess with them, and I have to come in and undo all that tomfoolery. Okay, everyone, I got the carburetor back in just about. I just want to show you what I was talking about, the float height. So you go to AutoZone or whatever and get just a really small clear line. You can actually, oh, this one's too small. I have another one that's in my toolbox. Anyway, so see the screw, this is the drain for the carb. So you connect the line here, right? So this is going to be, in theory, you're not going to do this. This is theory showing you. You connect the line there, then you take the other end and you hold it like that. And the pressures at B will tell you the fuel will go up to, you want it generally, the book will tell you, but generally right at the mating surface, just slightly below, right there at the mating surface. And it's very effective for measuring your float height without having to actually take everything apart. You can say, oh, my float height is way off. Either something's not moving right in there, or someone's monkey with it, or something. Okay. Hey everyone, Richard here. Thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be uploading videos as I work on different pieces of equipment and go over different guides and hopefully some information that will help you out. So again, like and subscribe. Also, check out our family channel. It's pretty fun. We do all kinds of cool things with the kids. And yeah, have a great day.